then it leaks past. When it leaks past, then the fluid can't push it up, and we don't have that gear. So we'd end up missing that gear.
So can you go over one more time for us, Chuck, the clutches and this, and what this do? I'm taking a video from Ryan. He's kind of wanting to know how.
So this is the piston.
Classic.
Fluid comes in on the back side of the piston. These clutches lay on top of that piston.
Clutches and steels, right?
Clutches, yeah, steels and the clutches.
Okay.
Lay on top of the piston.
Right.
When the fluid comes in back, it squeezes these together, so it applies the clutches. This spring lays on top of the piston inside of the clutches and keeps that piston pushed back. Right? Not that extreme, but it keeps it pushed back. And so then when my fluid comes in, I have to overcome spring pressure before I can apply my clutches.
And this is called a clutch pack, right?
This is called a clutch pack.
And there's more than one in here.
Yes, there's several clutch packs in here.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it goes like this, because this was the bottom one that we had.
That should have been his top.
Well,
Should go in there like that.
Pulled out. Well,
And this piece that we're taking
like
apart
this when we pulled it out.
sits right here.
Say yes?
It was like this when we pulled it out.
Because you flipped everything.
Yes. Okay. You're right.
All right, so when we put this back in, we want to make sure that we do not roll that seal.
What do you? Oh, you mean move it?
We roll it. We don't want it
Get it
to.
tucked
We don't want it to fold up this way.
This thing here?
Yeah, we don't want it to fold out. Now this is not a new piston, so the seal is kind of stiff. A new piston is going to be much softer. So you could roll it real easy. So you have to pay very close attention when you install it, that you don't roll either the one inside here or the one outside here. So we get the outer or inner one installed first, because that shaft is higher, and then we watch really close how we push that on down in to get the back one installed. You don't want to roll it. I can't see it, so. And we're just putting pressure on it, pushing it back in, and we're watching to make sure we don't roll that seal. Because if we roll it, we're done.
Would you roll it so we can see what it would look like?
I did not roll it. This seal is very, very stiff.
Maybe when you guys get
Well,
yours
it's old, so it's stiff. New ones will be very, very soft.
Wouldn't it be better to be stiff though? No?
No, it's easier to roll when it's stiff.
I thought you said it was easier to roll when it's stiff.
It is. It's harder to put in when it's stiff.
That's what the transmission is saying. Thank goodness for that magnet.
Where's the flat blade screwdriver?
Do you still have it over there?
Roller big. There we go.
Too late.
Trying to push it back a little bit.
There would be big chunks, slivers, but it's just all powder. Yeah. Liquid powderized goo. All those steels pretty much sanded down on time. Yeah.
Come on, baby. Crooked on me. Should have bought a transmission rebuild kit.
You need one of those lip rollers, the little green.
You got
bucket roller.
you got one?
There's a tool for everything.
And those springs you saw, this is the tool we used to compress them springs that were in that clutch pack. We stepped down like this and it moved that tool.
My PayPal stuff did not come in yesterday.
There's some inside the
Better be here tonight.
transmission.
Otherwise, I'm calling FedEx.
I'm on this pillow. It's like a special design pillow for you to sleep correctly. It took like a month to get here.
I bought a T-shirt from a
Is your
YouTuber.
paintball stuff from overseas?
Yep.
It's domestic.
That's irritating.
California.
The seals we talked about in the classroom the other day when we talked about sizing them are these two right here. Okay, when you install 2 new rings on there, there's going to be a cone that you set down over top of this special tool, and you're going to slide those rings down until they find their location where they're supposed to be. When you do that, they're going to be way too big. They're going to be sticking out all the way around that far. So they're too big to fit inside of the back of that clutch.
Back of this thing.
They won't fit up inside there properly.
$5 special tool right there.
I've never used one of those.
Never? It's a.
I always had a wire one.
Oh yeah.
All right, so then once you have them installed here, you have to shrink them back down. So there's another tool that you're going to slide over top of them, and it's going to be 2 tools. First stage, we'll shrink it a little bit. Second stage, we'll shrink it small enough that you can install it back into the clutch on those 2 seals.
Okay.
The black, you see them as black lines in the video.
Right.
Okay. The fluid comes out between those 2 seals.
So we're reading it.
I can't see the. There it is, right there. Fluid comes out between the 2 seals in that hole, and will apply that clutch in that clutch housing where this slides into. Some fluid, once it goes, that's first gear. Second gear comes out this hole right here. The valve body guides the fluid for second gear out that hole. It flows down the shaft on the outside of this tube and applies second gear. All right, when you want third gear, fluid stops flowing from there and comes down the center of the tube, comes out the end here and applies third gear. So we're applying 3 gears using 1 spool and 1 tube.
Just on that side.
Just on this side. Then fourth gear applies over here.
Okay. And then what about when you want to put it back on? What did you say about that? When you
Put
wanna-
this piece back on.
Yeah.
Down inside of the input and output shaft are bushings, brass bushings. This has to fit inside of the bushing. This lid should fall back on. The end cover should fall onto the transmission. You shouldn't have to force it. If you have to force it, you're going to move those brass bushings
And hurt.
and destroy them. The only way to fix that then is to replace the input or output shaft, whichever one you cause.
Hopefully I don't miss too much.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.